If you made it to this video, you're here for one reason and one reason only. The Olympic secret. Now, before I spill the tea on what the secret is, show some love. I have a small channel. I'm trying to continue to grow. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to make my videos excellent. And I can't do that without you. I can't do that without, of course, earning your subscription, earning your likes, but more importantly, the comments. If I get feedback, if you let me know what you think, you tell me what you saw, what you learned, that helps me understand what I'm doing right so that I can continue to do that for you. All right, cool. Okay, now what is this big secret? What are Olympic athletes and world-class athletes doing that I'm not doing, if you're asking yourself that question? I gotta give you some context, because without context, who am I? What do I know? Do this dude really know what he's talking about? What am I talking about right now? Context, that's what I'm talking about. Context. Dude. Okay. In high school, I was state champ, New Balance national champion, US #1 for the 60-meter hurdles in 2013. In college, I was 6-time All-American, 2-time NCAA runner-up, 2-time ACC champion. I wonder if there's an award for most second place finishes. And as a professional, I was 6-time Team USA, NACAC champion in 2022, finished 4th place at World Championships in Budapest, and as of right now, I'm ranked 5th in the world for the 110-meter hurdles. Okay, back to the secret. The one thing that Olympic athletes and world-class athletes are doing that a lot of athletes are not doing is recovery. Okay, so as I progressed in my track and field career, I got to higher and higher levels of competition. I reached the ultimate peak of competition when I went to USA's at the end of each year. Here is where you face off against the best college athletes, but you also face off against literally the professionals, the fastest people in the world, to try to make a team. This is where I got to a point where I was like, yo, these dudes is cooking, cooking me, and I'm like, I'm doing everything I can. I'm competing well, racing well, taking care of everything I need to on and off the track, but they were still a level ahead of me. This made me ask myself the question, what are they doing that I'm not doing? I really started to see it. Usually when most people think about recovery, they think about just a few things. They think sleep, good nutrition, hydration. Simple, you gotta recover. Sometimes they'll even throw in I got 5 minutes between each rep at practice. Maybe that's recovery too. Yes, that's recovery, but recovery is a lot more complex than that. When I think about recovery, I like to break it into 5 categories. Workout schedule, stress, the basics, auxiliary, and medical. Those are the 5 sections that I'm gonna try to break these into for you. So, the first category is workout schedule. So many times the culture of sports likes to emphasize you gotta work hard, you gotta grind. You see people having those quotes and even those memes they put on their story. They working, we sleeping, the grind don't stop. 110% every day. Does that even make sense? How can you give 110%? Mathematically, that doesn't make sense. So that's stupid. And the issue is you may be able to get away with that in high school. You may be able to have a football workout and then go right to a track workout, or have a track workout and go straight to a soccer workout and baseball, and you may be able to mix stuff and get away with that in high school. But as you get to a higher level of performance, that slowly starts to decrease your performance and run you down to a point where you're just exhausted. Think of it like this. You have 2 options. You can either choose 5 football games in 1 week, or 5 football games in a span of 5 weeks, right? If you choose the first option, the first game of the week will probably be normal, nothing really happening. By the time you get to the 3rd game, it's your body's starting to run down, you're starting to feel fatigue, you're starting to wear yourself out. By the 5th game, you got nothing. On the other hand, If you choose 5 games in 5 weeks, obviously you will have time to allow yourself to relax, to recover, to have time in between. And for each 5 of those games, you will be sharp and fresh, and you will have the highest performance that you could possibly have on that day because you've given yourself the time to be ready for it. These are obviously extreme examples, but the concept is there, right? Loading your schedule with workouts and practices and games and just filling up your schedule with so much stimulation, it wears your body down and it doesn't allow you to hit that peak performance. You may feel like you're slowly going up, but if you do that for 3 months at a time or 6 months at a time, that consistent performance without recovery and relaxation and allowing your body time to repair itself will have negative impacts on your trajectory for years, if that makes sense. Postscript. You should not be having soccer games in the middle of track season. You should not. Either focus on track or focus on soccer. You cannot focus on both because the track coach is giving you workouts to get you to perform in there. The soccer coach is drilling you and making you do workouts and scrimmages to get you to perform there. They cannot perform at the same time. You cannot excel at both at the same time. That just doesn't make any sense. I don't know why athletes do it. It's something that has gone crazy in the athletic realm, especially in high school, and it's just something that needs to be nipped in the bud. Like, you cannot perform at a high level if you're jam-packing your schedule with everything. Okay, the second category of recovery is stress. Now, this is a sleeper. This is something that I had to learn in college. When you constantly fill your life up with stress, that impacts your body. Like, you don't see it and you don't feel it specifically. You may not even catch it unless someone tells you like, oh, you're looking a little flat. But when I think about stress, I think about relationships, your significant others. If that's filled with drama and arguing and fighting and just a negative experience, that disrupts your physiological being. That affects how your body functions, right? That's stress. Schoolwork, homework, that's something that I had to learn as well. When I'm staying up late to try to finish homework, or I know I have an assignment due and I've procrastinated all the way until the due date, you can literally feel that stress because it's something that brings you anxiety and it makes you feel bad, and it's heaviness on your body. Drama, like any outside drama that makes you feel like you're at ends with anybody, if you have going back and forth and gossip, all this stuff kind of compiles. I think individually, each one seems like it's manageable and that's okay. But compiled, when you have bad relationships, when you argue with your significant other, if you're not doing your homework, staying up late, getting bad grades, having issues with your teachers, if you're having drama and all that stuff, it affects the way your body recovers. And if you're on top of these things, when you have good relationships, when you're on top of your grades, this stuff frees your mind and your body up to focus on other things instead of constantly getting beat down. One analogy that my coach Dave at Syracuse, he showed me, he was like, imagine there's a bathtub, right? Everything in your life is stress. When everything is in balance, the bathtub is at a specific level, a comfortable level. It's not overflowing, it's not too low, it's not too high, you're good. But when you add stress of homework, schoolwork, you have this final that you're studying for, your girlfriend's mad at you because you don't do XYZ, or your boyfriend's mad at you, and you're having trouble in the social life when you have drama and tension and all this stuff, like that stuff constantly raises the stress pool, right? And one thing that I notice is when all those things are rising, are making my tub rise and the water in my tub rise constantly, when that water gets to a point where it spills over, that's usually where injuries happen. When your body is taking so much stimulation on top of training is also stress as well. When you're taking in the relationship problems and the homework and the school, and you're failing 3 classes and this and that, and then on top of that training where you're really pushing your body to the max, all of that stuff is how injuries happen. So to mitigate injury, monitor all of these different stressors. The training, monitor the relationship, make sure you're on top of your homework, because this makes all of that stuff stay calm and level and easy and balanced, and you're able to avoid injury at a higher rate. So that's one analogy that really brought me to the next level in college, and it's something that I wanted to share with you. Okay, now here are the basics. The basics is something that's simple that you should know about. I call the basics sleep, hydration, and nutrition. The Holy Trinity, these three things. The issue with it is, like, even I do this myself, is there are ebbs and flows of it, right? When things are going well, you're doing good, like, you don't really focus on sleep, you don't really focus on nutrition, you don't really focus on hydration because things are going well. You think you're on top of it. But it's something that you can constantly tweak and constantly pay attention to as you progress. If you really don't pay attention to it, then it's something that can slip through the cracks. I learned this recently. I decided to hire a nutritionist and really talk with them and try to understand quantities, like how to quantify that you have X amount of protein, X amount of carbs to fuel you for a high level competition, you know? And every time I talk to a specialist, I learned that there are certain things that I'm not doing that I should be doing. I even took a blood test to find out what minerals and vitamins that I needed to supplement so that I can make sure I have optimal performance and optimal energy to be able to perform at the high, not even just at a high level, at the highest level. After doing that, like, I learned that I need to be taking supplements like vitamin D. I need to take sodium and electrolyte tablets because I sweat a lot, and that stuff really makes your muscles cramp out and dehydrates your body. Along with water, I need to take a gallon a day. I take magnesium and multivitamins, and these are things that in my blood work it showed that I was deficient in, and I didn't know that because it's like, oh, I eat good, I have carbs and veggies and this and that, but these are things that I needed to pay attention to make sure that when I try to go and compete with the best of the best of the best, I know that I'm doing everything that I can to get to that level. The next category is something that I like, something that I always find myself reverting back to, and it's fun and it's something that you can customize to your liking. I call this auxiliary. What in the world is auxiliary? I don't even really know what that word means, but I threw it out there because it sounds cool. Let's see what auxiliary means. Define auxiliary. Auxiliary, providing supplementary or additional help and support. Perfect, auxiliary. So, auxiliary means additional support. So when I think of auxiliary recovery, I think of things that you can do on the side for acute and short-term relief. So when I think of that, I think ice baths, I think Epsom salt baths, foam rollers, lacrosse balls, massage guns. I have a pair of Normatec boots. These are all things that you can implement throughout your daily life to kind of like give you that extra little bump in recovery and help you maintain things. Because a lot of recovery is like maintenance. If you do a little bit each day, you will never get to a point where you're crashing and you need to fill yourself with all this stuff. But auxiliaries are nice because they allow you to maintain, allows you to check in with yourself, check in with your body, and tweak things here, tweak things there to make sure that comfort is there. So my exhaustive list of auxiliaries that I just wrote down, let's see, ice bath, Epsom salt bath, hot cold showers. Those are cool. Like go hop in the shower, do 1 minute of cold, super cold, as cold as you can get in the shower. Do 1 minute of hot. Do that a few times and doing a cold shower. Lacrosse ball, I like to roll out the bottoms of my feet, and like sometimes I get my calves and my hamstrings with the lacrosse ball. Do some nerve flossing, some nerve gliding. You have to look that up. That's a good thing to do. Massage gun, yoga. Hot yoga, stretching, making sure you do a cool down at the end of a workout. That is huge for preparing your body to not only flush out the workout that you just did, but also be prepared for the next workout that's coming. Cool down is very important on big, heavy, hard days. And also pool workouts. Pool workouts is something that you can do like active recovery on an easy day. It's non-weight bearing and it allows you to move your body without feeling the direct impacts of gravity on your body. So those are definitely auxiliaries that change the game. I've been using all of these for literally as long as I can remember, back to high school days. And it's something that's tiny and it's accessible as well. These are all things that you can implement in your daily lives. Like a bag of Epsom salt is like $7. You can get that from any Walmart or grocery store that you have, and that's something that you can implement. So Auxiliaries are sleeper. So hit up them auxiliaries. The last thing that I want to mention is something that, especially at the highest level, elite athletes are definitely having this. This is the medical category of recovery. When I say medical, I say massage therapy. I say chiropractic, having a chiropractor that you go see regularly. I think physical therapy. These have been critical. When I'm traveling around as an athlete, I literally see athletes, they literally don't come to meets unless they have their massage therapist with them, unless they have their chiro or their physical therapist, because it's that important to make sure you're fine tuning and making sure everything is aligned and functioning properly from a medical standpoint to get to the higher level. If you're having a nagging injury that isn't going away with time and recovery, that means you need to take another step and say, look, physical therapist or massage therapist, I have this issue and it's not going away. Maybe you can do some type of rehab or some type of functionality treatment that allows my body to be knocked back into place, or kind of treat it so that I can't get back to that optimal level. Now, this is difficult because it's a little bit less accessible. A lot of these treatments are expensive. I spend like $70 every time I get massaged, and I get that about 3-4 times a month. I try to get chiro at least 1 or 2 times a month. And with my insurance, it's like $25 a session, which is really, really nice for me. I have really good insurance. And then physical therapy, that's even more expensive. That's about like $170 per session. And I try to go 2 or 3 times a month if I can, and probably more if it's a big year like this year, just to make sure that my body is functioning the right way, because I'm pushing my body to the limit as hard as I can, and I want to have confidence that a medical specialist can say your body is moving well and things are clicking, so you can have no hesitation to push it to that limit. So those are the 5 categories of recovery that I think are the most important. I'll reiterate them again: workout schedule, stress, the basics, auxiliary, and medical. These are things that will change the game for you. They will literally take you from you good, he alright, to like, yo, this dude is on a completely different level. And these are things that I wanted to share with you to get you to the next level. I'll leave you with this analogy. If you have a glass jar, right? And your performance is the water in that glass jar. If you have a glass of water and your performance is the water in that glass, every time you go to perform or compete or have a training session, that water is constantly being depleted. The only way for you to refill that performance jar, that performance level, the only way for you to fill that performance level is for you to add more recovery into it. These 5 categories will keep you replenished, keep you competing at a high level. It will help you train harder, compete better, and win more. Guaranteed. I can't even stress this. Guaranteed. If you show up to a race or a competition or a game and you feel fresh, that will elevate your game to a level that you have never felt before. You will exceed every expectation that you thought you had, and you will catapult yourself to a level higher than you ever thought you could be at. So that's what I got for the Olympic secret. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was beneficial. Please let me know what you think. I'm trying to grow this channel. I'm trying to blow this thing up, and I want this to be an excellent source for you to better yourself as an athlete. And thanks for coming. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace. Okay, that was fire.